So the big question is this: how do small businesses like yours, who feel like you're doing all the right things and going to all the right events, reach the federal buyer in a way that helps you win more contracts? That is the question, and this is the place to get your answers. My name is Neil McDonnell. Welcome to the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. Okay, let's get started. In a previous post, I provided an introduction to spin selling, a way to perform business development and capture activities, asking the right questions. Now I'll expand on the first type of questions, situation questions, and I'll include actual questions you might ask a federal buyer. First, though, the content is brought to you by the GovCon Chamber of Commerce, the only organization dedicated to the success of all small businesses in the federal space, with members from Guam to the U.S. Virgin Islands and every single state in between. Each year, roughly $125 billion is awarded to small businesses as prime contractors. Our vision is to double that number by helping small businesses truly understand the process for success. Small businesses are the backbone of America. By helping you succeed further in government contracting, we'll help strengthen American communities. My name is Neil McDonnell, and I've been where you are now. I've been a small business owner for 20 years, building 2 successful firms selling to the federal government. I've won subcontracts with small and large prime contractors. I've won prime contracts with defense and civilian agencies. I've done things right, and I've gotten things wrong. The one thing missing, though, for me then and you now, is an easy-to-follow process that will lead to predictable success. That's my commitment to you. I'll provide the process. If you accept responsibility and don't blame others, you'll find you have the control to change your future. Neil Rackman wrote a book called Spin Selling that has guided my call preparation for every sales call I've had in federal government. SPIN is an acronym that stands for situation questions, problem questions, implication questions, and need payoff questions. By following this method, you'll find you have many more successful meetings with federal buyers. Right now, though, let's focus on situation questions. Asking situation questions will help you gather information that you need to learn about an agency in general or specific opportunities. Situation questions are factual in nature. For example, how many users do you have? What's the square footage of the building you need painted? Who's the incumbent? It's okay to ask these questions, but make sure you try to find the answers first through your own research. Most factual information can be found online. By using situation questions, you'll gain certain answers that will help you support your customer, but you'll also gain insight into the needs they might have. For example, if I ask when the last time the building was painted, I might hear 2 years ago, and that's a fact. Or I might hear 2 years ago, but the paint is already peeling off the walls. This tells me when it was last painted. It implies a dissatisfaction with the product or vendor, and it also implies the need to have it stripped and repainted, all of it from one answer. Situation questions help when qualifying opportunities, where we tend to gather more factual information. Is this in our market? Are there things that'll prevent us from competing or doing a good job? Where will the work be performed? So that was a quick overview of what situation questions are, but who do we ask when selling to the federal government? There are 3 main groups of people you want to meet and ask questions. Focuses of receptivity are people who are willing to help you learn about and navigate an agency. An agency's small business specialist is one example. Another is a large prime contractor's small business liaison officer, or SBLO. A primary responsibility of both these folks is to answer your questions and make introductions. They're also looking for qualified small businesses to support their internal customers. Focuses of dissatisfaction are folks with the problems and needs. Usually this is the program office that has a requirement, but it could also be another business office within an agency that's dependent on the program office for products or services. Focuses of power are the money people. While a program office has the need, only a contract officer can award you a contract. Contract specialists support them and have linked power, if you will. Let's go over a few examples now that you could ask based on which role you're asking. No matter who you meet with, remember to be persistent, be polite, and be prepared. Be persistent, be polite, and be prepared. That means taking the time to write out questions you'd like answered. When meeting with a small business specialist, you might ask some of the following situational questions. Is this opportunity active? You may have seen it on a forecast, but you want to make sure that it's still active before pursuing. Who is the contracting officer or the contract specialist? You're trying to pursue an opportunity and will need to know these folks in order to influence the acquisition approach. Who is the program office main point of contact? You need to know this to learn about problems, challenges, and goals. Does the agency buy what I sell? You'll want to let them know that you've done your homework already and you're just trying to clarify this, or you're trying to understand it further. Are large primes hitting their small business goals? Asking this question seeks a factual answer like yes or no, but it can be expanded based on what the answer is as you share what you do and how it might help the largest, especially if the answer was no. Let's go over some examples you might ask when meeting with a program office. Do you use Amazon or Microsoft for cloud services? You might be an Amazon expert, right? And you want to stop pursuing this opportunity if it's a Microsoft shop that you're talking to. How many users do you support? This is purely factual to help you understand the size of their user base, but could also lead to an explanation of the personas or types of users for that user base. What is the square footage of the building? If you're painting, laying carpet, putting up security cameras, or something similar, knowing this will position you better to explain how you might be able to help them. How many service tickets are processed annually? Obviously, this leads to just understanding how many folks you would need to support that number, but you could also then follow up with questions about the categories of tickets. Why are people submitting service tickets? How many bathrooms are there? If you're a janitorial services company, knowing this will help you understand how to price a cleaning services contract, for example. When you talk with focuses of receptivity, you'll generally be learning about the agency as a whole. When you talk with focuses of dissatisfaction, you'll be digging into the operation of the program office you're pursuing. But when you talk with focuses of power, the contract staff, you'll want to ask about the acquisition process. When do you expect to release the RFP? Knowing this allows you to plan out your capture activities and prepare your proposal team. What contract vehicle will be used? If you aren't on the one that's going to be used, then now you know that you need to go find a teaming partner that is on that contract vehicle. Are you open to a set aside competition? If yes, you can explore setting it aside for woman owned small business as an example. If they say no, you can explore what concerns do they have that's preventing them from considering setting this aside for small business competition. What are your top 3 or 4 contract vehicles? Knowing this allows you to pursue those contract vehicles as a prime or to go find teams so you can join so you have access to your primary agency's preferred contract vehicles. What's the incumbent's contract number? You should have found this in USA Spending or the old FPDS on SAM now, but if you didn't, you can always ask this question. Knowing will let you do further research on past awards and the incumbent themselves. Situation questions help when gathering factual information about an agency or a particular opportunity. You can ask these of anyone, including small business specialists, contracting folks, and obviously anyone in your target program office. When I say that government contracting is not a secret, it's just a process, properly preparing for meetings and asking the right questions is part of the process. Before you do your next call, take a minute and write down 5 or 6 situation questions. Then, while on the call, try to weave them in through your natural conversations and use them as a checklist to measure your success on the call. If you found this content valuable, others are definitely going to find it valuable as well. Please give it a thumbs up so they can find it. If you'd like to connect with me personally, do so on LinkedIn. We often do free training webinars and interview federal buyers. Make sure you sign up for the GovCon Chamber's email list to be notified about these opportunities. And you can do that at www.govconchamber.com. Finally, please consider becoming a sustaining member of the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. I'm Neil McDonnell, wishing you great success.